Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 3 of the SRL TCR League. This round is coming from what is arguably known as one of the biggest sweat fests in touring car and motor racing, which is Donington Park. A lot of drivers in this event will be claiming this as their best track of the season and their fastest track of the season, so expect the action to be intense, close and competitive as we join probably around 20, 23, 24 drivers looking to compete here across 3 classes in the SRL TCR League. And there's 3 classes of Pro, Pro-Am and Am. I'm going to give you a rundown of how they look going into this round 3 in a short moment. But first, let's look at the race info. The 10 turns of Donington Park, the national layout, highly revered in the touring car season, taking place in nice, cool, late summer conditions. 6 kilometres of wind. We're pushing these cars down the back straights and the start finish straight as well, to be honest. We just accidentally click on the wrong button there. Not too humid, not too dry. Looking pretty good, to be quite honest, in terms of how the conditions are going to fare out through the race. Let's have a look at the standings. This is what everyone's looking like after round 2. This is the Pro Division, headed up by Logan McKinsey and Arthur Fertel on first and second. A bit of a 42-point lead between the top 2 there, with John Brown and a further 26 points behind Arthur. Jay Corley, Gabriel Bonacossi, Adam Delmont, Sven Winter and Tom Woodcock round out the top 8 there from competing in the first couple of rounds this season. Zach Liebold and Wayne Douglas will be looking to tighten up their championship. Dan Mould and Hayes Amacon, just a 1 round in the books for them so far, and Dan Mould will be keen to see if he can improve on his early season one of the favourite status. He's just down on 46 points on 11th place currently. The Pro-Ams, very hotly contested, as we flick into that. Mikolash Paszek had a great round at Okayama and the last round, which I completely forgot where we went last week. Mugello is being chased down by Cooper Akers, 148 points. Tony Walker, who is also not here this week, that we do know of. Mikolash Paszek either, 139 points. Craig Walters keeping up the pressure there, 134. Kev Bale at 125. Dan Lewis is a point behind 24, and Deck Crowther keeping them all out with 121 points. Neil Stevenson, JB Dejoux keeping themselves tight there with 8th and 9th, and Lewis Delmont rounding out the top 10 with 73 points. And as we go further down the list there, Stuart Gibbons, Matthew Downs, Luke Jones and Fraser Elphick will have points on the board for what is a full Pro-Am division. The AMs, we'll just reset that one back in. Headed up by Jack Davies. Also, we haven't got Jack here tonight. Scott Malcolm, he's returned to touring car action in the SRL. Coming out into second place there with Paul Hurley, who missed the last round. Keen to strengthen his top 3 potential. Nick Scottney, we definitely know we haven't got him either tonight. It's 4th and 46 points. Darren Saunders and Chris Barnes rounding up the top 6 there. Chris Barnes will be keen to get some points on the board. It's not just about the AMs, it's not just about the pros, it's not just about the Pro-Ams. There's also a team event that runs alongside the individuals. This can get quite competitive at times as well. SRL Green, that's headed of John Brown and Dan Lewis, out in front with 292 points, 33 points ahead of the just an average sim race team Vroom, which is headed up by Cooper Akers and Neil Stevenson, 259. The tryhards were also from just average sim race at 233, looking to catch their points up. Next Gen Green, with the overall championship favourites and current champion of Adam Delmont and his son Lewis Delmont in 4th. Altitude Esports single driver outfit with Alpha Fertile 194 doing very well there to cement his position near the top. Blade Designs, good round last time round. They got some good points on the board, climbing to 6. A single driver of North Sim Racing, which is Gabriella Boncorsi, at 144 points. Sherry Esport was a newcomer to the league last round out at Mugello with Sven Winter. He has 130 points on the board from his double win last time round. Limit Motorsports of Scott Malcolm and Luke Jones, 103 points. And the other Just Average Sim Race team, the Pretenders, and 97 points. They'll be keen to get some points on the board with some potential in that team. Knock Racing of Nick Scotney, 46 points. ADX Esports, 40 points. And the 13th place of Blade Designs 2 with 13 points themselves. As practice is just coming to an end, as it tries to fiddle around with my points tallies and scores, as qualifying gets underway, we're going to pop into the race screen. See qualifying just get underway. We're going to do what we did last week, 15 minutes of open quali, so all the guys are going to head out onto track at the same time. Let's pop it into TV mode as the busy old pit lane kicks everyone out from there. We just need to do a quick reset of the standings because it's decided to keep the team championships up at the top there. Don't ask me why. There we go. Let's just get you out on screen. There we go. Good old technology, eh, sometimes. Driver just come round. A couple of guys just getting themselves on the board there. It's a quick lap around Donington Park, 1 minute 11 and a half. It's usually the ultimate goal for everybody. I'd be keen to see someone else's stuff on track there, like John Brown just parking himself off the racing line there. It's very easy to interfere with someone else's lap here, as we watch a couple of JS boys just hunting down Sven Winter, I think that is there. Excuse me. Get the track map on for you guys. Now you all like to see that. Here we go. No time set just yet for this opening lap of quali. Sticking with Kervane on board. We'll go on to the board of Adam Delmont. Fraser Elphick puts the first lap on the board of a 1:12.15. Dan Mould of also 1:12.15. Arthur Fertel 12 flat as the times start to come in thick and fast. Minutes of quality, a lot of time to get some laps in them. Cooper. This is the weather of the day as well. You can see it on the screen there. 20 degrees, 33 degrees track temp. Humidity just dropped a little bit. So getting a bit more tricky on track for the guys. Keen to see how they do. So we're going to jump on board with who's usually quick around here. Look at Dan Mould. He's a bit of a pro. We'll go on board with Dan Mould around a lap of Donington Park. First corner, as always, is Redgate. Really tricky corner to get this right. You want to just clip the curb on the inside, run it wide out, so not too wide because it will spit you out. But down the run, down the Craner curves, you've got to be really precise here. It's easy to scrub some time from here into the turn 4 of the old hairpin. Fourth little tip into third gear on the power early. You can use a little bit of dirt there on the outside. You're not going to lose too much time or speed there. On the run through Starkey's Bridge, 2 left-handers, but into turn 7, which is McLean's. Again, another tricky one, but very quick corner. You want to get on the pace nice and early. Run it as wide as you dare and into the right hand of Coppice. Cut the inside. Don't run too wide. Keep it tight and get on a throttle early. Then you're going to come on a run down the back straight, down towards the Fogarty S's, which this way on the national circuit goes right to left instead of left to right for the GP layout. But you do want to get this really early on the brake in there, get yourself scrubbed off, clip the red curb on the inside, and a second curb, just brush it with your left front wheel, and you start another lap. It is that quick. And that lap we just sat on board with for Dan Mould was an 11.59, which put him third place. So we've just watched our top pro, one of our top pros do it. Let's have a look at Fraser Elphick, who's also just started his lap. Let's see if he can improve on board and see if there's any difference in styles and lines. Fraser Elphick, our top pro-am at the moment. So fourth gear in the same car as Dan Mould in the Hyundai Veloster. So fourth gear through the old hairpin as a run up to McLean's and Coppice. Again, you want to get this just right. Hit the curb on the inside if you can. Nice line there he took through McLean's. Coppice again, you can uphill brake in so you can get really on the brakes. Hit that curb on the inside. You just slid a little bit on the entrance there, which will compromise your speed. Down on this straight here where you want to get a good run, especially if you've got traffic around you. Let's see how he takes the final chicane. Just come back onto the start finish line. Down to second, smashes the inside red curb, which is absolutely fine in the Veloster. And over the start finish line to complete his lap, which was didn't give us a lap. I think that might have been a bit of a dirty one, unfortunately. So he was looking pretty useful there. Paul Hurley, currently top of the AMS. Let's have a look at his lap. Comes down the start-finish line. Nice and slidey on the brakes, so you don't want to get too early on the brakes there, Paul. Get a bit too much speed in. It's so easy to do, though, because this is an important acceleration point all the way down through the Craners. You want to set yourself up for the old hairpin really, really well. Fourth gear down to third. Paul is running in the Honda Civic, which tonight the Hondas have gladly given us this wonderful roof camera, which we're able to move around a bit as well. So just decided to not work in our favour there. There we go. We can do this with our camera and just see the John Brown hunting down Paul Hurley on his qualifying laps. This gives us a really nice camera footage on top of all the Hondas. We hope to have this implemented on all cars for the next round out at Mid-Ohio next week. As they come over the line to finish his lap. Bit slow also side, 13.48. His best is a 12 flat. Another guy who knows his way around here really well, if we can find him, would be Arthur Fertel. Let's jump on board with Arthur. No onboard camera for him this time, unfortunately. So we'll jump onto the old broadcast camera here for Arthur to see what he can do. Currently, there is 7 minutes of quality remaining. Arthur's fourth overall on the track. 11.61 is his best time. It was also his last time, so he's in a bit of a good run at the moment. So he's just taking a bit of a breather on this lap, to be honest. Just a reset, because it's one thing, you can cook your tyres quite quickly. Yeah, he's taking a reset lap here. And cook your tyres, and then you go again, give yourself a breathing room. There's one of the just average sim racer cars that runs past him on track there. Turn up the volume this week for you all, just so when I'm not talking, you can hear the cars in all their glory. Just see Arthur starting his next lap. Very easy to rack up the laps here. come down the Craners. Wonderful shots that we've got here. Always a great tack to view motorsport on. And this week we see an introduction courtesy of some fine friends, the drone cam, which will take us usually around the last half of the circuit through McLean's and Coppice. And we can stay on Arthur Fertile from a nice drone view here. Usually takes us down into the start finish line and the S's. We're going to get a nice draft of Cooper here, so we'll be taking advantage of this. I think that's Cooper in front of him anyway. As they run down the back straight, Arthur looking pretty nifty here. Passes under the drone, through the fog as the S's. Get a little nice bit of draft as they come over the start finish line. Unfortunately, that's when our camera will disappear from us. And he puts in a lap of 12.7, so not his best time, but probably just giving himself time and a breather to work on board there. You'll see a slightly different addition to the timing tower this week. We've got incident points on there as well, so you can see how people are racking up their incident points as the race progresses, and also the class position or class identifiers for each driver is now identified by the colour of the position on the board, so you can clearly see who is what class and in what position they are and how they sit. So you can see top pro is still Fraser Elphick, and Stuart Gibbons is in second place in the Browns, but 10th overall. John Brown in 11th, Alex Murphy 12th. We're going to jump on board with Adam Delmont. I think he's sizing something up here. He starts his new lap, see if he can smash the good lap. Runs a bit wide there on the outskirts. So let's see what can happen here with Adam Delmont as Dan Mould pulls out of the way, gets the way in an average sim race car. Dale disappears into the pit lane. There's Delmont into Redgate. Such a tricky corner to get right. But these pros know what they're doing to make it work in their favour. A big run down the Craners. It's the old hairpin up the hill. Into McLean's turn 7 on this 10-turn layout, so it's Donington Park National. And Delmont in the next gen green racing team. No Lewis Delmont tonight, his son, so it's a single man outfit tonight. Yes. So hopefully you're not going to lose too many points by the end of the night in the team championships, as we've seen already. 12 minutes to qualifying, on to the last 3 minutes. Can Delmont improve on his time? It's very tight at the front here. They're both on 11.49s. It's down to thousandths of a second between them. Delmont does an 11.7. Fraser Elphick puts another 11, so that's really good driving from Fraser. Last week's winner, Sven Winter, who run both races, full with the 15 grid second reverse one as well. So trying to spit my words out there in a very quick way. He's letting by traffic of Alex Murphy, so he's not having a hot lap here. Thank you for giving us that action there, Sven. Cars in pit road, not very exciting. So just have a look around, see when we're coming in. We've got 2 minutes to go. Drivers will be starting their last lap. See if anyone's coming around to start now. You've got Adam Delmont and Fraser Elphick. Fraser's looking pretty good for the pro pole. At the moment we've got Stuart Gibbons, Neil Stevenson, Daniel Lewis, Kev Aylett, Nick Crowther, Cooper Akers, JB DeJay and Craig Walters in that order on the pros. Because Delmont, this is probably going to be the final throw of a dice to see if Delmont can thrust himself onto the pole position. Dan Mould is not on track. Logan McKinsey is probably not going to have enough time. He's halfway around his 8th lap. Let's see if Delmont can improve onto that lap here. As Delmont is in a Honda, we do have the camera. You've got to give it a little poke, can you, just to make it work. Jump on board. Don't want to finish off the qualifying session. Sven's moving over to the right. We're trying to get as much slip as possible. Don't want it to get down the start-finish line. Into the Fogarties. Right, left. Don't want to go too much. Don't want to cut the corner. What can Mr. Delmont do as he comes over the line? Can he snatch pole on the line? He does not, but it's not a million miles away, but 11.595. This car scrambles to get out of the way, and qualifying comes to an end with 5 to 1 seconds gone. That's qualifying over and done with. Okay. So how do we do that? Decided not to play ball by not giving us the paints on there. Thank you. Maybe if I do that a little bit differently. But there we go. Let's give it a... Oh, we'll do that way around. I've actually press that car. There we go. Right, we're going to go into slow-mo mode while the grid forms up, and we can give you the grid as it stands. Here we go. Right. Apologies, it's a bit white on black. Let's see if we can just change that to camera 3. There we go. That's a little better. That's Delmont there on the grid. Let's pop it into the blimp. There we go. As the grid forms up. Right then, here is your grid as outlined. So make sure I've got everything nicely placed here. So on pole with an 11.488 is Dan Mould. Second place with an exact same time. I think Dan Mould might just squeeze this in first. Is Adam Delmont. Logan McKinsey just 0.037 behind. Clocks up third place with Arthur Fertel fourth with 0.118 behind him. Gabrielle Monlecorsi is in 5th place with the first program of Fraser Elphick on 6th place. Sven Winter in 7th and Wayne Douglas in 8th are your top 8 on the grid as they start overall. Too far with the grid there. Zach Liebold is 9th place. 10th Tom Woodcock and 11th another program of Stuart Gibbons with 12th John Brown. 13th place Alex Murphy and 14th place Neil Stevenson. 15th place Dan Lewis, in 16th Kev Aylett. But I think there's always going to be a rivalry between those two, I reckon, as the race progresses. In 17th place you've got Cooper Akers and 18th Deck Crowther. 19th place the first Scott Malcolm, and 20th of Craig Walters. 21st JB DeJay and 22nd Paul Murphy. And then 23rd we've got Chris Barnes in the Blade Designs 2 team. Very competitive looking field out there. A lot going on. Let's see if we can break it down by class for you all. Because why not? You can just see what the different classes are. So that's the class set of the pros. Just to see it break it down for everyone there. And we'll jump into Pro-Ams. Just to make it easy to see where everyone starts compared to everyone. So Fraser and Stu are the pole first and second in the Pro-Ams. We'll skip down to the AMs. Scott Malcolm, Paul Hurley and Chris Barnes taking up the grid there. Right then. As we get ready to go, we've got a little bit of time to kill. When everyone gets themselves on track, let's get all the bits and bobs ready for you guys to see what is going on track. Make sure we don't miss anything out for everyone. It's always actually like squeaking of the cars. Ticks us on. 1 minute 29 to go until what's up? 30 seconds till gridding completes. Right, everyone doesn't get there first. Gridding complete. The revs peak up. Here we go. Dan Mould on your left. Adam Delmont on your right. And they go, go, go. We've got smoke all through the field. A couple of slow starters on the right hand side there. I'm not sure who that is. It's Kev Aylett on the right. Poor start from him. Further back as the green flag takes us down into the first corner of Redgate. So everyone seems to be cleanly through there as we watch the pros meander their way through. Slightly slow left-hand car there. Looks like that's... Not sure who that is slow there. Actually, 2 cars off on the gravel on the right-hand side. We'll pick them up at the end of the race of what happened on turn 1, further back in the grid. On board with Fraser Elphick now in his SRL liveried car. And Sven wins. We've got a car off to the right. Always that's what's going to happen there. That is Arthur Fertile? I think that was Arthur Fertile. Yes, it was. He had a bit of an adventure through the old hairpin, which normally happens on the first couple of corners, as everyone gets themselves together. As the cars stream around McLean's on the first lap here. Looks like a pretty routine clean start. We've lost Paul Hurley and Deck Crowther. I'm not sure what's happened there. They're showing us down on the timing boards. A bit of contact there into Fraser, the back of Fraser's car there. Someone else is off on the right there. Van der Sacken Altitude Esports. That's Arthur Fertile again, enjoying a bit of rally crossing on this first lap. As the cars swarm down there into the first right-hander again on board with Fraser. Certainly giving us the action there. Arthur Fertile. Let's jump on board back with him. He's got to work his way through after a few adventures down to 13th place for him. Wayne Douglas and Tom Woodcock are the 2 pros behind him as they go into the old hairpin. As the cars run through. And he's been challenged by Fraser Elphick, who has dropped down from 6th place himself on the opening lap. So I don't think he got away too well. It's always nice when you get some pros in the action there, in the middle of the grid, and see if they can work their way through. But as again, this mentioned, Donington Park is a sweaty old track. A lot of drivers rate this as one of their favourites. As we're on board of Cooper Acres. So you come through for the Fogarty S's to start lap 3. Dan Mould stretching out his lead at the front there. We're going to jump on board. Oh, we've got a spin. We'll go back. We've got a car sliding across it. Looks like Craig Walters. Oh, I'll tell you one thing. I think that was Wayne Douglas, sorry. Yeah, I think that was Wayne Douglas having an almighty slide. We're going to pick that up in a bit. Due to the way the replays work, we'll have access to them at the end of the race. Jump on board with John Brown in the SRL green car up the inside of Alex Murphy, hunting down his teammate Dan Lewis. We've probably got a typical Audi start at the beginning. We've just lost Scott Malcolm. He has gone back to the pits. Hopefully he can get himself going and on track again. Yeah, we're not sure how to put on that start finish line, but we'll pick that up at the end of the race and go from there. On board with Kev Aylett here in the Honda 111. Currently running in 10th place, up 6th place overall. So he started pretty well. Probably a little bit disappointed with his own qualifying, as he races one of his favourite tracks. Why wouldn't you? We're hunting down a SRL green trio of John Brown and Daniel Lewis. And jump back to the leaders. Dan Mould, Adam Delmont, Logan McKinsey, all in a line, 3 wide. So is what they're going to be aiming for, surely. I'm going to say 3 wide, but 3 in a line. These guys are quick, running very tight. Best time moment is 11.41, set by Adam Delmont in the race so far. Point for the fastest lap, 2 points for clean race. So there's a point for the pole positions in the qualifying sessions. Zachary Liebold is further back for them, a further 3.5 seconds back. He is in a train of cars with Sven Winter and Gabriel Bonacossi and Stuart Gibbons. And then everyone else is coming up behind them, so there's plenty going on. Plenty of action. Jump back on board with the leaders as they fly through the Fogartys. Down the start finish line with Barney watching on from the gantry. Red gate. That's the next corner. You want to take it as far left of the pit lane without cutting it as possible. Delmont's all over the back of Dan Mould here. And Logan will be watching and waiting and playing the patient game, I imagine, knowing him. The cars stream down just change that one. There we go. Don't need. Round the old hairpin. What a viewpoint that is. I love watching cars around this track. Shall we jump on board with Adam Delmont? This is going to be asking for our camera, so bear with me 2 seconds as we jump on board with the roll bar camera. To see how close Logan is there, right behind him. This is how tight they are into the Fogarty S's. There's not much between them here. 0.4 of a second between Dan Mould and Delmont, and then 0.3 between Delmont and Logan McKenzie as we come back and watch over the start finish line again. Wonderful stuff. And of course, we've got a good old suitable gearbox camera to see how close Logan wants to get to the back of Delmont. This is going to be a hotly contested action. This is what you want to see. We go back to the front of the car and how close he gets to Mould. It looks a bit skitty going into the old hairpin there. The temperature will be getting hot in all these drivers' cars. They're all going to be feeling it because they're all going to compete with each other to the highest level here. And this is definitely for bragging rights as we're going to jump into back to the most exciting on track, which is probably going to be Alex Murphy. He joins us. Hunted down by 2 just average sim racer cars. I'm guessing there. Yep, we've got 1 in front, 1 behind. Sorry, 1 in front, 2 behind. Always an average sandwich, it appears on this track. Kev still hunting John Brown down. John Brown may have a little bit of damage, maybe. These two always seem to be stuck in front of each other and battling hard. Ooh, Alex Murphy got a big twitch on there as we watch him go off track. Can he rejoin safely in the 2 average sim racer cars of Cooper Akers and Neil Stevenson, both teammates? Are we looking to take advantage here? And Cooper goes through, and Neil Stevenson go through on him as well. It's a long, long train of cars as they come down the crane of curves into the old hairpin. Watch the cars wonderfully go through there at speed. Craig Walters is also on the back of Neil Stevenson there. Still on board with Alex Murphy. The sun bounces off the cars. 8 minutes gone. It feels like it's already been 20 minutes. There's always actually go 2 wide with Dan Lewis on the inside of Stuart Gibbons. Can they hold it around the inside? Can the Audi power get the better of the Honda? As Gibbons takes a wide line, and now John Brown is trying to push Dan Lewis down the back straight here. Let's watch it from the angle here. Let's go 3 wide, 2 wide. Let's go 2 wide. Stuart Gibbons on the left, Dan Lewis on the right. This is good racing. Jump on board with Stuart Gibbons. We're just on board with Stuart Gibbons and the Blade Designs team. Oh. As we watch the car go past there, John Brown getting inside. I mean, Stuart just ran a little bit wide there through red gating down through the craners. A bit offset there, John Brown gets past. Now Stuart Gibbons will have Cooper Akers climbing all over the back of him as Cooper Akers got past his teammate Kev Ayler there. This is great racing already for these guys. Middle of the pack as you expect. And Stuart Gibbons hold on to his place. Jump on board with Kev Ayler again. For Adam Delmont and Dan Mould are still separated by absolutely nothing. It's 0.24 and 0.4 between these top 3 drivers. They start another lap. We are not even halfway yet. Can they maintain this pressure for another what, 8-9 laps? Stay tuned to find out, because I'm sure they will, and give us an almighty show here. Not putting a foot wrong any of these drivers there. Through the old hairpin. You've got Dan Mould in the lead, Adam Delmont, Logan McKinsey in the top 3. Let's go through your top 10 while we're watching these guys on track. We've got Adam, obviously just mentioned, Mould, Delmont, McKinsey top 3. We've got Bonner Corsi, Sven Winter, Zachary Lebo, John Brown are your top 7 all pros. When we hit the programs of Dan Lewis, Stuart Gibbons, Cooper Akers, Kev Aylett, and Alex Murphy in 12th, Neil Stevenson 13th, Craig Walters, JB DeJay, Tom Woodcock are your drivers on the lead lap, down to 16th place. Still running, we've got Wayne Douglas, Scott Malcolm and Paul Hurley still on track. I think Arthur Fertel was still circulating as well. No, he's still on pit road. Fraser Elphick is still circulating. So we've got most of the drivers still on track. But at the moment, the action is hotting up with these guys here. Let's bring up at the top of the screen there so you can see who's leading with the respective divisions. Dan Lewis is now leading the prams of this race with Stuart Gibbons, who started second, is still second. Cooper Akers and Kev Aylett following them very closely on track. They've all been a second themselves. Is that a battle we need to watch? Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump on to the program battle while the pros are in their kind of rhythm halfway through this first race. This heat 1, which is 20 minutes long. Fixed setups cars, so everyone's driving, you know, pretty much identical kind of cars in terms of how they operate. Just not many Elantras in this race, unfortunately. That's just held by JB DeJay. But you mostly will see Hondas, Audis, and Velosters. And here you can see the Honda of John Brown, who is a pro. Is Dan Lewis, Pro-Am teammate, right behind him. Stuart Gibbons of Blade Designs is right behind him, giving him pressure. Always action when we're going to go. So shall we jump on board with... We've had Gibbons. Let's have a look at John Brown. I'm on the gearbox. See the snake of cars running along line astern. The lap times are all very close between these guys here as well. We've got everyone's running at pretty much 12 flats. Dan Lewis has got the edge of 11.92. As someone's gone, Stuart Gibbons has got to slow down. I think he did slow down for the last chicane. So Dan Lewis and John Brown. Cooper Akers, sorry, running side by side. Look at this. This is great action for the back of Dan Lewis's car. Stuart Gibbons gets inside line for the old hairpin. Comes Kev Aylett trying to get past Cooper Akers. The same team, but not the same team directly. Jump on board to Stuart Gibbons. Look what he's going wide. Kev gets the inside run into McLean's. There'll be no team orders there for sure. Cooper Akers looking to get back at him. Robust defending there. Are we going to see some sturdy overtaking? Nope. Wonderful bit of lines there. Cooper did not enjoy that. A bit of flashy lights there at Kev. I mean, he's got to defend from Alex Murphy. This is how tight they are. This is how tight they are. He pushed the car's bounce over this again. Cooper going wide. Yep, that's you see another Neil Stevenson trying to get in there with his teammate, give us some support there. Can they slip through on the inside of Alex Murphy? Looks like they are. Let's go on to Cooper. Go down the Craners. At the top 3 is still Mould, Delmont, McKinsey. We've not missed anything too much there. Cooper looking to stretch his lead there. He's dropped back off the back of Kev. Still flashing at Kev. He wasn't happy with something that happened there. We'll probably try and look at that one a bit later on then. See if there's anything he didn't quite like for that. A bit of controversy. Inter-team rivalry. Kev's driving away a little bit from him there. So not really sure what the issue would have been if it's on pace. A little bit wide there for Cooper. Is he driving too angry? He might be, because he's making mistakes there. We're going to let other drivers back in. You can see Paul Hurley in the background, but can Murphy get himself back into action? Jump back on John Brown and Daniel Lewis racing together with Stuart Gibbons of the Blade Designs team. He's always rivalries between these guys here. As Murphy looks like he's had to slow down in the background, letting through another average car. We're looking on board of Dan Mould and McKinsey in a second to get back into the leaders. See what's going on there. As the race is just settling down a touch now, I feel. We've got a few gaps, a few single cars running on their own. So not too much going on. Jump board with Tom. Oh, we've just had a bit. Oh, we've just joined out at the right time with Dan Mould sliding out across the track. Not sure if we got a little bit of contact as they go free wide into McLean's and come down through Coppice. I'm not sure quite what happened there, but Logan snaffled through and went straight into the lead. So there might have been a bit of contact between Delmont and Mould as we come down into the Fogarty S's. There's Delmont there. Honda doesn't take those curbs as well as Mould uses the full extent of the off tracks. And here Mackenzie running up nicely ahead. You got Bonacorsi and Sven Winter in there, nice little duo there. They're not exactly battling each other too closely, and Zach just trying to keep on the back of them. So we're going to stay fixated with these guys here over the line now. With McKinsey, Delmont and Mould. McKinsey will be licking his lips at glee with that position just opening like a door as they run through the old hairpin. The Veloster coming to the fore with the Honda staying in second place, with Dan Mould actually the biggest loser there, dropping from first to third. I suspect there might have been a little bit of contact, or he just got hot on the braking through Coppice. Through McLean's. It's not a place that normally happens, so leave the door open, attacks will happen. We're currently 16.5 minutes in, so we've got 3.5 minutes of this race remaining, which is about 3 laps, as they will come down over the line. So into the final 3 now. We're going to jump on board and stay on board with Delmont here, because I can see this race also as Dan Mould again using the off-track. So we've got the off-track meter board on the timing screen there, and you can see a lot of off-tracks being used there at 8x from Dan Mould. Delmont is using the 1x, and Logan McKinsey's actually had a clean race so far. So he's had 0 instant points. He's the only driver on the grid to have had 0 so far. So excellent driving from Logan there, looking for the 2 bonus points. Delmont has just had the 1. Bonacorsi 5 instant points, then Winter 5. The next one down, the highest, Kevin, that's 7. And Alex Murphy with 9. So it's 17, I think it is, as the drive through. So no one's flirting with it just yet. But you never know. It can easily rack up quickly. As another lap is completed. This is lap 15 of the race. They've come through Coppice and the run down to the start finish line complex again is coming up shortly. Delmont's just squeezing a bit closer here to the back of Logan, and Dan Mould has probably just dropped back about a 10th compared to him here. Come through Redgate. We've got 2 laps to go now. 2 laps to go is my calculation. Down the Craners. The old hairpin. I've seen many a contact, many a brave overtake over the years down there. Just through Starkey's Bridge. Not much of a challenge, but you get sucked into a poor position here for McLean's and get yourself caught out under braking. It's easy to do if you're watching the mirrors. Into Coppice for the penultimate time. Logan defending on there off down Delmont as they run down the start finish line. It looks like Dan Mould's got a bit of a run here on Delmont, I think, has he? Oh, I think he might do. Nope, not yet. Here we go through the final chicane as the cars run down the start finish line. Didn't see the white flag come out, but I think the white flag is out, so I think it will be out as they go a little bit. Oof. He's looking for a way past there, Delmont. Can he force his way past at the top of the Brams? These guys have been less than a second altogether all the way through the race. That's defensive line through Logan through the old hairpin. Delmont is pushing Logan through the old hairpin as they run through Starkey's. It is now free, literally a track train. Oh, we've got a slide from Delmont there and the braking. A bit of a push from Mould. As he pushed the pass. That is some sturdy driving. They're too wide into Coppice. Who's going to be the bravest on the braking? They're side by side. They are still side by side. Now they come down the start-finish line here. It's going to be tight. Here comes... We're going to see it from the top angle of the shop. Oh, we've got Delmont contact in there. Oh, and Mould has hit his contact between him and Delmont in the final corner, controversially. And Dan Mould's dropping down the order. As win for Logan McKinsey, second for Delmont and Ponacorsi on the road. Zach Liebold comes home in fourth. John Brown comes home for sixth, and winning the Pro-Ams is Dan Lewis, with Stuart Gibbons right behind. And then you got Kev that's following Dan Mould over line just there. Neil Stevenson, Tom Woodcock, JB DJ, and I think Tom Woodcock just missed out there by a fraction on the line. Well, that was an exciting end to the race there. To be quite honest, what we're gonna do is catch some replays and see what happened, as we just have a bit of a pause in reaction. So we're going to look back to the start of the race. In fact, let's show the results. Let's do the results from Heat 1. So, Heat 1 Pros. Let's do it this way around. Probably be easier. Logan McKinsey with Adam Delmont second, Gabriel Bonacosi in third, Sven Winter fourth, Zach Liebold in fifth, John Brown in sixth. Let's say that 1 second. Let's go back to the green flag, and then we'll. Actually, can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. Snowbow. So Zach Liebold in fifth, John Brown in sixth, Dan Mould in seventh, Alex Murphy eighth, Tom Woodcock in ninth, Wayne Douglas in 10th place. For Fertile rounding up the pros in 11th. He did retire from that race, as he did do 75 points. So 75% of the race. He does not claim any points. The Pro-Ams, very hotly contested. Dan Lewis bringing home the winner of the Pro-Am division there in Heat 1. Stuart Gibbons in second, 3 seconds back. Sorry, half a second back. 3 seconds further back was Kev Aylett in third. Neil Stevenson, not sure why it's called up him as a privateer, because he is definitely part of the JS team. 5 seconds back there. JB DJ sneaking in fifth. Cooper Akers sixth. Craig Walters seventh. Fraser Elphick in eighth. And Deck Crowther in ninth. And that was your runners and riders of the Pro-Ams. And in the AMs, unfortunately not too many drivers taken to the track there. Scott Malcolm, Paul Hurley and Chris Barnes in the top three. But classified will be Scott Malcolm there. Paul Hurley unfortunately had a moment on the first lap. We'll go back and have a look at some incidents now, because I think we need to. As we see, that is Wayne Douglas. I think it was 66. Yes, Wayne Douglas was going off track there, got a little bit loose. Now, Deck Crowther, Scott Malcolm went off track, so we'll have a look at this one. Oh yeah, there's contact there between Malcolm and Crowther. Took a bit of a bump across the track. See which way. Oh yeah, Deck just came to the right there. Unfortunately, Scott Malcolm was a passenger there. That might have knocked some suspension out there, unfortunately. Then he went back off to the pits. Arthur Fertile. On the inside there, coming down there on the inside of the old hairpin there. I think that was Gabriel Bonacorsi. It was a bit of contact there on the old hairpin. Always happens on the first lap. He went backwards, unfortunately, further down, and he went off again. So we're going to stay with him here. I think he went off again at the Coppice corner. Bit of an uncharacteristic scrappy first lap there for Arthur. He runs into the back almost of John Brown. It's in the final hairpin, trying to make a move on John Brown. Clips the curb on the inside. That's just a routine one, but runs really wide, nearly hit the barriers on the outside. And it's not fast out there, Arthur, and you'll lose more places. as we found out. Craig Walters apparently went off track. I think on the same corner. He was in that red, blue, and black livery. Just nothing really to cry home about. But he went off again. 69 car, Paul Hurley getting loose. He went on the inside. Good avoidance there from Craig Walters. Always a good overtake. To avoid Tom Woodcock. He had a moment somewhere. I think that was avoiding Craig Walters. I wasn't told that was Tom Woodcock who had that half spin in front of Craig. Scott Malcolm. What happened to Scott? Yeah, a bit loose here. The old, yep, just the final chicane. Pretty classic one. This looks interesting. We've got Wayne Douglas inside. Arthur Fertile coming across the inside. Oh, was that a move too early? And then pinball across. Oh, poor Fraser Elphick and Arthur Fertile there. That is literally race over there. Yeah. That's a destroyed car of, watching from a different angle here. Oh, I'll tell you one thing, that was a peach. You see Arthur coming back on track himself there. To what happened to Arthur. An instant rejoin as well. Oh, it's a sickening crash. Oh, yeah, a bit of a tasty rejoin there from Arthur. I think we need to watch that one on board, to be honest. Let's watch it from Arthur's point of view into this first corner. Oh, the violence of that instant there. Nothing you can do about it. Yeah, that's a retired car. Unfortunately. Arthur Fertile crashed. That's the same one again. Yep. There's just that many incidents. It's like, okay. Paul Hurley jumped to the pits. I'm not sure why Paul Hurley jumped to the pits, but we didn't see that anywhere. Okay. Apparently he didn't like Paul Hurley doing that. Okay. Let's go to Paul Hurley passing people in the pits. Stu Gibbons, middle track. What's happening is a lot of cars. Always something going on here. It's really right on the edge of Redgate there. That allowed John Brown to sneak through with Cooper Akers. Also sneaking through there. Cooper Akers. This is at the chicane. Running wide there. Now, there was a bit of an incident, I think. There was a lot of flashy lights from Cooper Akers towards Kev Haylett earlier on. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. So there was a bit of action going on here. We got the better of whom. There was some tastiness happening. And lots of flashing lights going on. Distinct deliveries of the SRL Green team, the Blaze Designs, and the Just Average Sim Racer teams. Each one's slightly different. And Kev up the inside there, have shown the door to Coppice by McLean's. Didn't quite make it stick. Yeah. Not much of much, I said. We will pick it up again here. Here we go. This is down the old hairpin. Kev on the inside. Makes the move. Gets on the run, but the Cooper also got a good run through there because it's hard to overtake. Kev just making sure Cooper gets all the way over where possible. Still gave him plenty of room. Plenty of room there. Yeah, that'll work. And we saw lots of angry flashing lights from Cooper in that direction, but the late braking on the Honda's always going to triumph over the Velo. There. Anything else that went up? JB DeJay, let's have a look. Before we go to the last lap incident with Delmont and Mould. JB DeJay just running out of road there on the exit. Alright, let's have a look. So, this is the Mould Delmont incident. We're going to jump on board with... Yep, sorry, that noise is up. Woof, woof. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do it this way. So this is, I think this is only one of those kind of instances. Can we zoom? We can zoom forward. Oh yes, they give us wonderful pan tilt zoom capability here. So last corner of the race, this is the rundown to the start. Finish the Focus Yes is the start finish. I had to finish the race. Moles on the brakes. Oh yeah. Now, was there a bit of braking in the straight line? Don't think so. Who knows? But there's certainly contact to cause that there. So that was interesting, to say the least. We'll never know, probably, to be honest with you. If we jump on board with Delmonts. So it's a tight one, isn't it? So let's have a look at Chopper. What does drone give us? A better angle. I mean, this is always one of his race hotly contested. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. Which in slow mo. It's always been one of those hotly contested decisions. Someone breaking the straight line, or someone not breaking the straight line. Is it a Verstappen moving a diagonal line while braking? You know, because that is a straight line, but not moving lanes. Who knows? Gives everyone a chance to discuss and talk about what happened. Always a good talking point at the end of a race. So we come in here. Obviously, this is my opinion. Moles on the brakes. Del wants a bit late on the brakes. Reactions, to me, it's a bit of a late reaction there from the 37, maybe. Dan Mold is unceremoniously punted off onto the GP layout. Fortunately, that is the wrong way, Dan. Delmont just holding on to that absolutely brilliantly for the slide over the line there to finish in second place. So a lot going on there. An awful lot going on there. Right, so we just we'll flip around and get ready for race 2, which will be gridding up very shortly. Okay, we're back for race 2. The feature race is coming up very shortly. In about 30 seconds once I've done the grid. So we've taken the reverse grid poll. It's top 15 from the last race is Cooper Akers, Tom Woodcock in second, Alex Murphy in third, JB Deshay in fourth, Neil Stevens in fifth, Kevin in sixth, Dan Mould in seventh, Stuart Gibbons in 8th place. I've got my button wrong. 9th place is Dan Lewis, 10th John Brown, 11th Zach Liebold, 12th Sven Winter, 13th Gabriel Bonacorsi, 14th Adam Delmont, 15th Logan McKinsey. Positions that were not reversed from the last round were 16th Wayne Douglas, 17th Scott Malcolm, 18th Paul Hurley, 19th Craig Walters, 20th Arthur Fertel, 21st Fraser Elphick, and 22nd Depp Crowther, 23rd Chris Barnes. Interesting to see if Arthur Fertel can work his way through from 20th place there on the grid. Right, let's get the race screen on for you guys. There we go. Just waiting for the gridding up to conclude. Team on, we've got Van on. Let's get the battle box on for you guys, and then we're going to want a track map as well. There we go. Right then. 20 seconds to gridding up. Everyone there. Cooper Akers will be keen to lead everyone off the lines. The revs increase. And here we go. Get ready to go. 3, 2, 1. And we are go for race 2, the feature race. 25 minutes long. And Cooper Akers got a really good start off the line there as the cars run down to Redgate. And everyone's through so far. We're going to see some fast guys really coming their way through. Everyone's managed to keep it on track for turn 1, which is a good start there. Down to the old hairpin there. Lots of cars going around. Then we've got a speed up wide. We've got contact. Sven Winter's right. We've got a car flapping around. It's Kev Aylett who's gone wide. He's got a hole on the brakes. He has. Oh, there's absolute carnage there. I think there's about 3 or 4 cars caught up in that. And it looked like Sven Winter was the one who was involved in that. We will check that out towards the end of the race. See what happened there. Absolute carnage there to start off with, as the cars run down to the Fogarty S's there. Cars have made positions up, and Coupe Breakers, Tom Woodcock, JB and Dan Mould. Dan Mould's big places made up for the start of that grid there, so he's done really well. Dan Mould's been pushed through there by Neil Stevenson. Down into the Craner curves. Coupe Breakers will be keen to set the pace here and push on early, but Dan Mould will be keen to get out in front because he knows this is an opportunity to stake some points and get a win on the board here if possible. But he's got some fast guys ahead of him. Tom Woodcock is quick around here. JB knows his way around here in the Ionia Elantra. Just be keen to show what he can do. We're right in the middle of the pack here with Neil Stevenson. He's got JB on his inside. He's keen to get past him quite quickly. Following Dan Mould through. Stuart Gibbons is right behind there. I think Gibbo got involved in that turn 4 instance at the old hairpin, but has to keep going quite nicely. He did lose a few cars. We lost Gabriel Bonacorsi, Alan Delmont as well. And Kev Aylett seemed to be the drivers who came out worse in that instance. As the cars come over the start-finish line to start another lap. Lap 3 starts now as the cars roar down towards Redgate. On board of Dan Lewis of the SRL Green, this wonderful green liveried Audi. Zach Liebold hunting him down. Stuart Gibbon in front of Dan Lewis. That Blade Designs livery. Zach Liebold is under some pressure here from Arthur Fertel and Wayne Douglas. We know how aggressive. Oh, Sven Winter has given Arthur Fertel a shove into the old hairpin. No, I'll tell you one thing. There's hip checks and there's hip checks. And that is testing the sturdiness out of that Veloster on the door frames. Definitely one for the action replay at the end. Now we've got Neil Stevenson, JB. We got contact there with Neil Stevenson sliding his way through Coppice. So it was a little bit of inside contact on the rear quarter. Did well to hold on to that, did Neil Stevenson. Logan McKenzie just pushing his way past there, metaphorically, not physically. Sven Winter on the back of Zach Liebold. These are all the pros trying to get them through quickly. Wayne Douglas is trying to follow Sven Winter through, and Zach looking the outside line on Stuart Gibbons. And Dan Lewis there. So the Perms are quick round it. Looks like Gabriel Bonacorsi is resigned to staying in the pit lane for this race. Oh, and contact from Sven Winter again! It's the 3rd contact we've seen on Sven Winter. He hits the back of Zach Liebold in a dangerous part of the track through the old the Craner curves. We're on board with Logan now. Cars off wide there. That's that Sven taking the journey off the track again. He is certainly causing some mischief and giving Zach Liebold a bit of contact again, maybe, as they go into McLean's. We're going to stay on board with this one. This is some hotly contested racing. Whether or not it's the fairest racing, I'll leave that open to opinion. As we got Coupe Breakers out in front still with Dan Mould. We'll try and jump back onto that battle because they'll be very close. Sven Winter and Zach Liebold are certainly giving it the old argy-bargy with Deck Crowther looking to capitalise any incidents here, which is very likely to happen with some incidents. Flash of the lights from Craig Walters. He's flashing his lights at car number 16, Neil Stevenson. Craig Walters loves a bit of a good flash, we have to say. Right, we're going to jump on board with the leaders, Cooper Akers. This one seems to settle down a little bit here. Here we go, Cooper Akers and Dan Mould, both in Velocitas. Dan Mould swarming all over the back of that yellow, blue and white livery JAS car of the JAS Vroom team. Right behind him is Tom Woodcock of the Tryhards. He's going to look to capitalise any contact there. But Dan Mould just went round Cooper like he didn't exist. Wonderful track knowledge there from Dan Mould to get past Cooper there. But Dan Mould, clean air in front of him. Can he pull away from these guys, or will the draft keep them attached to the rear of his car? We jump onto the gearbox with a plane flying from East Midlands Airport next door there. Probably off to Alicante or somewhere for a lovely 18 to 30. As we watch this Honda of Tom Woodcock swarm all over the back of Cooper Akers there. Down towards Redgate. Cooper looking to feint it. Back onto the racing line. This is good action. Haven't allowed Dan Mould to pull away yet. And Tom Woodcock looking to get past Cooper. He's going to be pushing Cooper all the way down to Craners here. Tom Woodcock be keen to get some points on the board for the team after seeing Cavella get destroyed at the old hairpin on the first lap as a wonderful sunset as these cars stream round the old hairpin. Wonderful. Putting on a show like the Sky is tonight. It's great racing. We're going to jump back onto the exciting cars, see where it takes us. It might leave us on the action here. Let's put us back in with Stuart Gibbons hunting down the back of Neil Stevenson. Still, we've got Craig Walters and Zach Liebold, the pro. We seem to have... Sven Winters seems to have disappeared. I'd imagine something happened with Sven. Seems to have dropped back about 2 or 3 cars. And Stuart Gibbon gets some bragging points very late on the brakes here, but he can in a Honda. I think he was a bit too much on the brakes here because it's allowed Craig Walters to come through on the outside through the start-finish line. Zach Liebold looking to take advantage as well. So the momentum was lost by Stuart Gibbons into the Fogarty S's. We've got Redgate looking to take advantage of the inside line there. Stuart Gibbons on Craig Walters again. A little bit of door-to-door, which is wonderful touring car racing. Let's jump on board with a chopper as they go down the Craners. This is good racing. 2 wide. Who's going to be the brave? Can anyone stick it on the inside? Or down the inside of the old hairpin? But Stuart Gibbons wisely just pulling out. Craig Walters not too used to pulling out too soon yet in that 666 car. The problem is with Stuart Gibbons is he's enough earlier, so now Zach Liebold to get back into the closest of the action here. On board on the roof. That's just exactly Bob. Get the move on Gibbons down into the Fogarty S there and into this wonderful sunset. There's the next car is Arthur Fertel behind Stuart Gibbons there. This is good racing. Done on board with Stuart Gibbons. He thinks iRacing is definitely saying this is the most exciting driver, and it certainly is up there. Let's have a look at Cooper Akers has gapped Tom Woodcock. Tom Woodcock has Logan McKinsey for company behind him, so there's going to be a battle there for the overall podium. Let's look at Tom. Didn't see him at all in the first race. He finished down towards the back of the grid, but made some good gains at the end of that last race to get onto almost a reverse pole. So there's a few gaps there, but Logan's still a bit of a stretch behind there. So I don't think Tom's worried about too much. Wayne Douglas is on his own at the moment. JB Dejay with Neil Stevenson for company. That Elantra, which is very unfancied at the moment by a lot of drivers. Show what he's doing there with Stevenson is right up the chuff of JB Dejay as they start lap 9. Sorry, we've got 9 minutes 54 gone, which means we've got 15 minutes still to go of this action-packed race. And JB Dejay hold off Neil Stevenson with Craig Walters right behind him and Zach Liebold behind them. Action everywhere. Arthur Fertile is going to be keen to get himself past this. So you watch Dan Lewis and Sven Winter into the old hairpin. Sven Winter looks very skitchy on the brakes there. He's got a really low brake bias, I'm guessing by that. But Dan Lewis is holding his own with the power of the Audi. Coming up the inside of Starkey's Bridge. Dick Crowther of his Blade Designs team is going to be keen to still take advantage of any misfortune involving Sven and anyone else. He has been in the wars today, let's put it that way. Plenty to look at towards the end of the race. Dan Lewis did well to hold off him. He knows he's got the power of the Audi through McLean's and into Coppice. And the Audi will stretch his legs down the straight. We do know the Velo has got good top end. The Honda is probably the most lacking on the top end, but it's got good traction down the corners though. Into Fogarty S's. Watching Dan Lewis with that Honda pushing him through the old hairpin. Sorry, through the Fogarty S's. Down the start finish line. Dan Lewis taking the defensive line on the inside of Redgate. Be prepared to brake late. That Honda will brake late. We've got Dick Crowther on the outside of Sven Winter there, wisely moving out of it. Jump back into the chopper. And Dan Lewis is running a little bit wider Redgate, which is going to allow Sven to come through. And that will and has allowed him through. Jump back onto Arthur. Arthur is going to be keen to get past Stu Gibbons on into the old hairpin, making a move. Showed the door. Stu Gibbons just got a little bit spooked there, I reckon, there by Arthur, showing the inside line and running wide to allow him by. Good racing from Arthur. There's JB and Zach Liebold, our two North American cousins as such, competed on track. See what they can do. Tom Woodcock got past Cooper Akers somewhere. They're battling each other hard. Again, same stable of overall team, but different teams completely. JS Tryhard is Tom, and JS Vroom is Cooper. Teammates a bit further back, but the Vroom team, second overall in the championship at the moment, will be keen to strengthen their second place and possibly get up to the front of the SRL Green Boys of John Brown and Dan Lewis. They're a bit spread apart at the moment. Actually, they're towards the back of the grid as this race goes on. Whew. Action-packed first half of the race, so we are literally at the halfway stage now as we watch a few drivers just settle themselves down, Tom Woodcock and co there. Jump back onto the most exciting Arthur Fertile. We got cars everywhere. This is Sven Winter in the action again, being pushed along by Dan Lewis, who's got Stu Gibbons on the outside. Stu Gibbons looking to hold that defensive line. Does not want to let by the pro of Sven Winter. There's a big pro-am battle here. So let's have a look at the runners and riders of who is doing what at the point of the halfway stage of the race. Sven did manage to get past Stuart Gibbons there. Leading the race is Dan Mould, 4 seconds clear of Tom Woodcock. Two pros up at the front there. Cooper Akers in third, Logan McKinsey in fourth, Wayne Douglas fifth, Neil Stevenson in sixth, and Craig Walters in seventh. Zachary Liebold in eighth, Arthur Fertile ninth, JB DeJay in 10th, and Sven Winter in 11th. 12th is Stuart Gibbons, and 13th Dan Lewis, 14th Dick Crowther, and 15th is John Brown, 16th Paul Hurley, and 17th is Kev Aylett. 16th Scott Malcolm, he is still running, and we've also said goodbye to Gabriel Bonacorsi and Adam Delmont, Chris Barnes, Fraser Elphick, and Alex Murphy from this race so far. Scott Malcolm is 1 lap down, I think. Yeah, 1 lap down, so he's still going to be scoring points. Stay on track, get those points in, and he'll be doing just fine. Okay. Let's have some battles on front. So there's the old Tom Woodcock and Logan McKinsey. I think Cooper has dropped behind Logan now. So Cooper's going to be defending for Wayne Douglas. Watch Tom Woodcock leap over the old, I keep calling it the old hairpin, leap over the Fogarty. We're going to jump onto Cooper Akers now. So run down to Redgate. He's got Wayne Douglas in close proximity. As you see these groups of cars there, and Neil Stevenson about another 5 seconds back off Wayne Douglas. With a big gaggle of cars there. Douglas has got past on the inside of Cooper Akers very succinctly. Didn't really see that one happen. It was just a bit of just a run through Redgate and a better leap through. So Cooper is currently still leading the Pro-Ams. So we've now got 4 pros up in front. So they're going to try and resume a close battle, hopefully on track. Cooper, Neil and Craig Walters occupy the top 3 of the pros. It's all going on. It's all going on. Right then. Let's jump into the battle with Craig Walters, Neil Stevenson and Zachary Liebold. The next pro-am behind him is JB DJ. He is a number of seconds further back, so of course I don't think he's going to quite get there in terms of that position. Look at the gap between the drivers there, so you can see where everyone actually is. This is the gap from the leaders from each other. So you can see there's the interval is gap between the cars as they are on track between the different positions. On the timing tower there. Craig Walters is bussing all over the back of Neil Stevenson here. Going to be keen to make some moves, but everyone seems to be in a nice pace and a nice rhythm now. There's not too much going on in terms of battles on track as we jump into this 3-car battle, however, which is JB DJ, Daniel Lewis, Stuart Gibbons and John Brown. I think Dick Crowther is just sneaking onto the back of this as well, just trying to keep pace here. There's a battle between the SRL Green and the Blade Designs teams as well. I've just noticed the back of John Brown's car looks decidedly broken as well, so I'm not sure what that happened from there. He's been in the wars a bit this season, does John Brown. Zach Liebold has entered pit lane. I'm not sure why. He hasn't got any incident points. He's got no 8x. There's nothing coming up as incidents that I can see. No, Zach Liebold has just gone pit lane. Not sure what happened there, but he's going to plummet all the way back down. Yeah, fast repairs are on, so hopefully take advantage of a fast pit service and get himself back out on track. But I'm not sure what happened there. Nothing flashed up as an incident. He will stay on board with the... Oh, this is going to get spicy, boys and girls. Come down to start finish. Look at this. Dick Crowther got a wonderful launch by Stuart Gibbons then. Bit of teamwork there maybe between the two of them. As you see Dan Lewis off to the right of JB going into the first right of the focus. Yes, there's a bit of contact going through them all there, and the runs have been compromised. JB got a compromise run. Got Dick Crowther going off wide in the Audi. John Brown was pushing Stuart Gibbons a little bit wide there. Oh, it was good action there, but look at Dick Crowther making the gains. Absolute gains through that last lap from the back of his 5-car battle to 2nd place on the road. Wonderful position. Dick Crowther is up 11 places. Phenomenal driving. Else up. Craig Walters up 13. Alpha Fertile also up 13. Give Kinsey up 12 and Wayne Douglas up 12. But I think Dick Crowther is a great driver. Dick Crowther's gone off to the left-hand side there as we're going to watch on board. Oh dear. And that's into the wall. Unfortunately, that little gain there was a bit commentator's curse as we see the back of that very broken-looking Honda Civic of John Brown. He's going to be missing out on some downforce, surely, there. Well, it's such a shame to see Dick Crowther disappear off the track there. Not sure what happened there. He went a little bit wide at the old hairpin and then compromised everything else with the return on track. Okay, leaders up front. We've got Dan Mould. Long way out in the lead there, 5 seconds clear. Logan McKenzie just jumped past Tom Woodcock. Let's have a look at that. They're still running side by side. Down the Craners. Dan Mould is just a dot in the distance now. As the cars storm down to the old hairpin. Honda versus Velo. Car 4 versus car 69. You've got Wayne Douglas right behind. Cooper Akers still actually a long way ahead in the battle of the Pro-Ams. So doing himself well. And can Tom hold on to this podium position with Wayne Douglas coming up hot behind him? The best times at the moment are all very close. 11:59 is the best time by anyone at the moment, which is Arthur Fertel and Dan Mould. 11:69 is Logan's best time. 11:71 Tom's. 11:63 is Wayne Douglas's best time. So the times are there. They just need to do it every lap and put each other under pressure. This is good racing. We've got top amount of pressure is going to go under everyone. Wayne Douglas, we know, is very forceful with his driving. So hopefully he doesn't need to worry about that too much and get past easily. We see cars parked up on pit road. That's Stuart Gibbons on pit road. Oh, what happened to Stuart Gibbons? Yeah, with Stuart Gibbons in another moment as well. Oh, we've got some highlights to watch at the end of this race. I'm going to stay with this battle. Apparently that's the most exciting. Definitely a broken car in pit road. That was Zach Liebold's car, actually. Missing a supply of parts. This is going to get a little bit feisty. I can just feel it. Tom Woodcock is, you know, he likes to play hard as well. He likes to defend hard. So let's see how well these guys play with each other on the track. Run down to the Fogartys. Douglas looking to come out under braking on the Velo, really late on the brakes, and then the Velosa can bring that late and just jumps in front of Tom Woodcock. What a move that was. Fabulous move. We saw that at a really good angle as well. As we look back from Douglas's car at Tom Woodcock. Tom Woodcock's very close there. Look at the inside, little nibble. The Woodcock nibble coming out to play. I think Douglas might just have a bit too much in the tank here for Tom Woodcock. Let's see where the camera will take us next on the battle of the exciting drivers. It's staying with this one. Our director thinks this is the most exciting battle on track. Fair enough. Let's do it. Let's keep it on the road. So you can see the difference in the stability of the Honda and the Velo. The Velo really wants to kick the rear out, where the Honda's a lot more planted in the corner, especially these fixed setups. So the lights come on as the sun has officially set. It won't be dark, but it'll start to get darker. But the lights are on now, so the flashing headlights by anybody will show a bit more in abundance. You see Dan Mould. He's had his gap reeled in a touch by Logan, but nothing of any significance. If anything, these boys are catching Logan now. As we see Cooper Akers all on his own there at the top of the Pro-Ams. Comfortably 6 seconds. 6 seconds? Well, 3.5 seconds clear of Craig Walters. Craig will be trying to go gusto here and get ahead. Craig Walters, that was 11:85. He was 6 tenths quicker than Cooper Akers, so he might be sensing it. There's still 2 minutes to go. We are not on the white flag lap yet. The next time round will be. Looking at where we are, we've got a minute 20, minute 11 lap. Dan Mould is that far ahead, but he's not that far ahead to trigger the white flag. As the cars come round to complete. We're still apparently trying to show you the top most exciting camera. As we jump onto the drone cam. Wonderful camera there that our provider has given us this week. As we start the final lap. This is the final lap. It's the final countdown. Let's do this. Let's hopefully the guys bring up a big show on the last lap here. See if there is anything else going on. That's close battles. We've got the Daniel Lewis, John Brown. They're all pretty far apart from each other. Yeah, everyone's kind of just spread out now a little bit now, which is a bit of a shame. Arthur Fertel trying to hunt down Craig Walters here, so this could be an interesting one. But we are going to jump on to Dan Mould in a short moment to see him complete the race and a dominant performance in this Donington race on the national layout for Dan Mould as they run down to the start finish line to complete the race, take the checkered flag on lap 21. There we go, checkered flag is out. Congratulations, Dan Mould, for the win. Dominant performance there. Logan McKenzie comes home second. Wayne Douglas in third, with Tom Woodcock in fourth. Cooper Akers wins the Pro-Am race, with Craig Walters coming home second with Arthur Fertel coming in there, and someone dives into the pit lane, which is Sven Winter. I'm not sure why he dived in the pit lane. Neil Stevenson coming home in 9th place and takes Sven Winter in the pit lane. Daniel Lewis in John Brown, sorry. Dan Lewis 9th, John Brown 10th. The positions are going all over the place here. Sven Winter went in the pit lane for some reason, not really sure why. Paul Hurley, Sven Winter, Kev Aylett is still out on track. He's the last car on track, actually, on the lead lap after that lap 1 incident. And we will stay on board to watch him come over the line and take the checkered flag. And some points. From where he's finished, he's still going to be claiming some points. And does a good job there. There we go. Well done. And everyone completes the race on that lead lap there. Okay. So, we're going to look at some replays, or shall we look at the standings as our guys get the positions totted up in the background. Let's do the start of the race. Let's get into what happened. I'm not sure if it recovered it. No, I don't think it did. So what we're going to do is, fortunately, he didn't play ball with the replay. So we're going to jump on board with Kev. Actually, Sven Winter was the one that it had an incident with, wasn't it? So let's jump into... Let's find Sven. There he is. Go to chopper cam because it's the best thing for the replays. Start of the lap. Let's see what happened at the start of the race here. See a car going off slow there. Yes, Kev did not get a good start. Let's hide the graphics wheel. See what's going on. Sven's all over the place, pushing Bonacorsi off a little bit there. Bit of weaving going on. Not the best bit of weaving. A couple of cars in front, mind own business. Zach and Kev are too wide there. Nice driving from those two. And Sven into the back of Zach, hits the curb and spins out. It's John Brown who hits Logan McKenzie, who hits Bonacorsi, hits Kev. Well, that's just carnage. We'll rewind that. We don't have to do the rewind, but let's have a look at it from Kev's angle, because he seemed to get caught up in that quite a bit. We'll see the impact there into the back of Zach Liebold's car in that Formula Llama liveried Veloster, and slides across. Everyone's not what's going on. Hits John Brown, hits Kev Aylett. Logan McKenzie, who finished trolley, actually hit the back of John Brown. And then Kev's trying to just spin out of control. Nobody do about it. Hits Gabrielle. And it's just carnage. And then trying to hold it. He's on the brakes. Clips Wayne Douglas, who clips Adam Delmont. That's a mighty crash to happen at the old hairpin. As we say, it happens. But that was mighty. Okay, let's have a look at what else happened. Yeah, it caused mega accident, that didn't it, really, to be honest. Arthur Fertel went off track apparently somewhere. This is old hairpin again. A hip check from... Yeah, that's what we saw on the broadcast with Sven Winter. Getting very strong and robust with Arthur Fertel. That's Sven Winter into the back of Zach Liebold. Yeah. Okay. That's the third incident that we've seen. With Sven Winter getting contact with drivers. And the second one was Zach Liebold as well. So there's some kind of rivalry happening there. Who knows? And they both run on track as this carries on for a couple of corners. We'll stay with this chopper cam. There's some good old fashioned, I'm going to get shaky on the wheel kind of action going on. And Sven Winter trying to get back on Zach Liebold. Not going to give a quarter of those two. I think that's anything else. Paul Hurley has an off track here. This is the old hairpin. Just guns it. John Brown follows him off there. Arthur Fertel and Sven Winter. We'll leave that one open to interpretation. Oh, Nick Crowther getting caught up in some shenanigans there. That was good avoidance from Nick Crowther, Zach Liebold. With Stuart Gibbons and Craig Walters in front, just a little bit of off a wide one. If this looks like it could be interesting, you can see this is Douglas and Dan Lewis. First corner. Yep. That's first corner. Yeah. That's just a narrowing of gaps on the apex there with the car on the slight overlap. It will happen. Stuart Gibbons, Zach Liebold, Arthur Fertel. We saw that on the broadcast, didn't we? Arthur Fertel just shown him the door, didn't gate it, and then I think Stuart Gibbons just decided to have any semblance of doubt and not have contact. Logan McKinsey and Wayne Douglas. It's just off track. I think this is just off track as well. Yeah, just running out wide. Yeah, so not much. That's bouncing around Neil Stevenson. Let's see what his off track was. Last corner, that chicane, a little bit. Got really loose there, didn't he? Yep. This is action-packed last corner, last hairpin, sorry, last chicane. Cars are plenty going off and running and hard racing each other fair. And Cooper Akers had himself at a moment at the old hairpin. Yeah, it was such an easy one to do. You want to commit so much time there. And sometimes it doesn't always go off the way you want it to. This Dick Crowther went off at the beginning of the old hairpin. Let's watch it back a little bit further back. We've got JB on his inside of the Craners. Bit of contact there between JB. Oh, God. That's a one-way ticket to rejoin somewhere further around the track. And does pretty well with that. I mean, he's carrying some speed. It's hard to do the brakes. And then this is his retirement. Yeah, he just pulls over and into the wall. That's a shame. Not sure why he pulled over there. And Stuart Gibbons had a moment as well. Oh, he just lost it. Yep, just... Oh. That's one of those things you get that kind of kick and grip. And the car just goes, nope. Off we go. And this is almost it. Last JBJ is off track at the old hairpin. And the checkered flag for everyone else. So, action-packed. We'll finish off there. My guys have told me the points are ready for featuring for you all. So let's have a look at. Let's just set it all up for everyone. The pros are ready to show you that's just the results. Let's have a look at the results from race 1 first of all. Let's do that one. There we go. All right, let's do it backwards. Let's do the AMs first. So the winner of the AM race, Paul Hurley, for the feature race. Scott Malcolm finished second a lap down. He got caught up in that lap 1, turn 4 incident. Congratulations, Paul Hurley there, taking advantage of that win. In the Pro-Ams, always hotly contested. Cooper Akers with the win there, 1.8 seconds ahead of Craig Walters, with Neil Stevenson in third, 8 seconds back from the leader. So that's a 1 and a 3 for the team JAS Vroom team, so good points for them boys. SRL Green, Dan Lewis doing the job, 11.2 seconds back with JB DJ and Kevin in 6. Who actually did finish 6th place overall in the end, with Stuart Gibbons and Dick Crowther not quite completing 75% of the race there. So they will... Yeah, they didn't complete. Oh, did they? One might have done. Yeah, Stuart Gibbons, but not Dick Crowther. Fraser Elphick coming home in 9th. And that rounds out your Pro-Ams. The pros. This was always hot. Dan Mould, the winner, comfortably ahead of Logan McKinsey and Wayne Douglas. Tom Woodcock in 4th, good result for him. Arthur Fertel in 5th. John Brown in 6th, and Sven Winter in 7th. Zach Liebold will miss out on points in the last race after retiring, as will Gabriel Bonacorsi and Adam Delmont, as they were also caught up in that lap 1 incident. Alex Murphy also retired out on the first lap. Not sure what happened to him. He might have been caught up in that as well. I didn't see it, but quite possibly. So good results there from everyone. Don't know if we'll see. Did he give us a T1? No. I never set. To be honest, I never set it up. So no, that's fair enough. Right then, the results. Let's have a look at the point standings. Then we're going to go straight into the points. Points current. This is as they finish after the race. Logan McKenzie stretches his lead to 363 points overall. With 250 points for John Brown, who actually moves up a place and overtakes Arthur Fertel, who drops a place to 3rd. Up 3 places is Sven Winter to 212. Certainly an eventful race 2 for him, with numerous contacts there. Adam Delmont moves up a place to 5th, 202 points, making amends for his Mugello race, but he did lose out in the second race and didn't score, so probably needs to stay on track a little bit longer there. Gabriel Bonacorsi, who also retired out of that second race, 199. Tom Woodcock moves up a place with 186 points. Dan Mould moves up 3 places to 150. Jay Corley, who did not race tonight, drops 5 places with Wayne Douglas in 10th, staying as he was over 130 points. Need to make sure that's actually correct for Wayne Douglas. Zach Liebold with 120 drops 2 places. He didn't have a great second race either. Alex Murphy gained some points, but not enough in his first race of the night, or of the season, sorry, with ourselves. That's the pros. The pro-ams. See how the championship standards have changed there. Cooper Akers is our new championship leader of 222 points. Dan Lewis moves up 4 places to 206, and Kev Ailick moves up 2 places to 191. Neil Stevenson, a big mover of 4 places up to 188, and Craig Walters dropping 1 point to 181 points. JBJ increases, will climb the ladder by 3 places with 176. Mikhail Paschik, who did not race tonight, drops 6. So not exactly terrible. There is drop weeks. Dick Crowther, 167, car number 167, is 146 points. He dropped 1 place. Tony Walker, who also didn't race tonight, also dropped 6 places. But Stuart Gibbons, with a good points haul tonight, we see him climb 1 place up there and into the top 10. Lewis Delmont, who missed this round tonight, only loses the 1 place on 73 point there. We didn't see Matt Downs or Luke Jones on track, and Fraser Elphick unfortunately retired from the racing tonight due to other contacts that happened that were, again, not his fault. And it seems to be having a bit of bad luck with other people's contacts. Bless him. Fraser Elphick, what does we say there? All right, AM division. Scott Malcolm moves to the lead of the championship with 109 points. Paul Hurley with 104 points. With Jack Davies dropping 2 places. But again, Jack Davies did not race tonight, neither did Nick Scotney, who remains in 4th. And hopefully we'll see Darren Saunders and Chris Barnes back out on track. We did see Barnes take to the track, but we didn't see him get through the race, unfortunately, in both races. But we hope to see him back on track and return into form soon. Whew. Well, that was eventful. That was action-packed. And that was Donington Park National Touring Cars at the SRL TCR League. Always exciting, always action, always a sweaty one. And I know the drivers will be coming out of that race going, oh my word, what happened there? Because it was carnage. But in a good way. Always in a good way. There's always cars just too wide, pushing each other, line abreast, just pushing each other around the track physically and also mentally. Because you know you can't make a mistake on a track that is so free-flowing like this as well. So just got to be on the ball as such. Right then, that concludes this broadcast for tonight. So thank you all for coming along and racing with us there at what was tonight's Donington Park circuit to the national layouts. And this SRL TCR League Season 8 draws to a close. This is the home of Friday Night TCR Racing, and it's only on SRL TV. Good night.